All right, so this bullshit right here is one of the big reasons why farming in Alaska may never be profitable. I've started to come to that conclusion in the last few days that despite my best efforts, this may never ever make me money. There's a bunch of reasons for that. First of all, the cost of starting is ridiculous. Alaska's not like down below where you guys can just go buy farmland. Yes, there are places in Alaska that you can do that, but as a general rule here, the agricultural industry is very small. It's in its infancy, and I, for example, started with just raw wilderness. The only place that's even slightly usable, and it isn't because it's flooded, but it's even slightly usable, is this patch right here where I actively logged last year. The rest of it is wilderness, and it was actual wilderness. Probably no one had ever even been there, or hardly anyone, when I bought the place. And a lot of it is still impassable. Absolutely impassable because of all of the dead spruce, because of the spruce beetle. There are places in there where you literally cannot walk. It takes hours and hours and hours with machinery and chainsaws just to clear it out to make it walkable, let alone get the land cleared, let alone get it fertile. The soil here is very cold and very thin and very acidic and very hardly any topsoil. So turning this clump of shit into productive, fertile farmland is a ridiculously expensive proposition. I don't know how long that's going to take me, but I can tell you that just buying the land, buying this relatively modest herd of cattle, 23 cattle, getting some equipment, doing some the fencing, the buildings, the basics, I'm going to be into this for $500,000. And a fair portion of that is borrowed money. So I have to pay interest on that. Then the cost of the inputs in Alaska are bonkers. You guys down in the States, you've got all of your byproducts you can feed your cattle, and you've got way cheaper hay. Every time I see it on Facebook, you know, I see round bales of hay for $30 or $50 or $80, or depending on where it is and how good the hay is. You know, here, you're lucky to get a bale of hay right now for 150 or even 200. So the cost of farming up here is a lot more expensive. And I have just come to the conclusion that it's going to be very difficult to make money. The winters here are stupidly long. You guys down below probably have green grass by now in March. And I'm getting 4 new inches of snow today, which is beyond infuriating. I had just moved a bunch of this snow, especially in the pens, so the cattle didn't have to live in muck and mud. And now we're getting snow, and it won't stop. It won't goddamn stop. And it is just infuriating. This should be a spring month, and it's very much a winter month. So that makes it very hard to make money here when you've got this winter where you've got the feed. I don't care what Joel Salatin and Greg Judy and those guys are doing down below. They could not do that here. You cannot do the rotational grazing and all of the regenerative ag and all of that when your ground is completely covered with snow for 6 or 8 months of the year. You've got to have supplemental feed, you've got to buy hay, you've got to buy grain, you've got to do those things. And no matter how good of a farmer I am, I would never be able to turn this into something like you can do in Texas or Virginia or Florida. It's just not possible. So I genuinely don't know if I'm ever going to make money farming. I've done the math over and over again. If I'm really lucky, I might make $1,000 per steer. I'm not going to have any steers for sale for at least 2 years. And even then I'll only have 6 or 7. So I'll get $6,000 or $7,000 in profit in theory 2 years from now. But by then I'll be $500,000 in the hole from buying this land and starting this farm. If I do make money, it's going to take me at least 5 years, probably 10. So if you're thinking about starting a farm in Alaska, just keep all those things in mind. I'm not trying to discourage anyone. Obviously, I'm going to keep going. But it sure is a lot easier to go someplace like Iowa or something where there's fertile land and get a farm going than starting here. You could go to certain places in Alaska like Delta Junction or the Mat-Su Valley or other places where the farmland exists, but there you've got to, certainly in the interior like Delta Junction, you've got to deal with incredibly cold winter temperatures. I mean, -40, -50, -60, -70 is possible up there in the winter. That brings its own set of challenges. So it's a hard place to farm. And I don't know what people are going to be willing to pay for my beef and my pork. It's going to be top quality, but I have to charge a ton of money just to make make anything. And then I'll close on this. Right now, I'm working 70 hours a week. By the time summer comes, I'll be working 100 hours a week. Can I keep doing that into my 60s, 70s? Do I even want to? And what am I supposed to value my time at? If I make $1,000 for a steer for 2 years of work, let's say it only takes 15 minutes a day. Let's say it only takes 5 minutes a day to take care of that steer, which means watering him, feeding him, bedding him, cleaning up his manure. Let's say it only takes 5 minutes a day for 2 years. I mean, do the math to make $1,000. What am I working for? 20 cents an hour? I don't know. I haven't done the math, but it's not much. So thank God I'm enjoying this and I'm proud of it, because it certainly does not seem like it's going to be lucrative. I am going to be surprised if I don't lose money on this for a long time. So, and maybe forever. Or as long as I keep going at it. The point may come where I just decide I don't want to lose money on it anymore. So that's the problem with being a brand new farmer. Everything's expensive, and now diesel's, you know, almost $5 a gallon, and will probably be $8 a gallon before long. You guys better buckle up for a hard ride, because food's going to get stupidly expensive. I promise you that. All right, bye-bye.